with the Matchsellers, Bluegrastronauts.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
John Hartford on a steamboat on his way to Mars, picking away on the banjo at 100,000 miles an hour. Bill Monroe in a rocket, see the look on his face. It's mighty dark to travel when you're in outer space. Bluegrastronauts, so far up high, I'm stuck in Kansas City, staring at the sky. Won't you come down? Won't you come back? Won't you come and take me with you to your extraterrestrial cabin shack? And Kenny Baker's life is never dull, 'cause he's fiddling away in a giant black hole. Don't forget Jimmy Martin, just doing his thing. You can love him, you can leave him, when you're the king. Bluegrastronauts, so far up high, I'm stuck in Kansas City, staring at the sky. Won't you come down? Won't you come back? Won't you come and take me with you to your extraterrestrial cabin shack? Yes, thank you very much. Now, as you heard from our wonderful Rod Sterling announcer, we are time-traveling Bluegrastronauts from the future, and we have come to tell you about the future and what will happen. But before we tell you about the year 2437, which is the year that we come from, we have got to tell you a little bit about the history of the future, which is the future of the present. And obviously I'm talking about the year 2137, when the great apocalypse happens, when all of humanity dies, which is a lovely thing, a very, very fabulous thing.
Hi, Andrew.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Julie. It's lovely because you have to like picture the person you hate the most in the world, okay? Close your eyes and picture that guy. And know that that person, along with everybody that that person knows, loves, or cares about, they're gonna die. And that's why the end of the world is such a beautiful thing for you personally. Here's a number about the end of the world. It's one called "It Was Too Late. The World Was Over and Everybody Died."
Was all in flames, and it was too late to do the things that I wanted to do. Too late to love the ones that I love through and through. Too late to say the things I thought of once or twice. It was too late because the world was over and everybody died.
Thank you very much, people of Earth. Now, after the great apocalypse, what happens is there's a huge evil corporation. Nobody knows where this corporation comes from, but it plants a factory in the middle of the United States. Well, not quite the middle. They plant this factory at the Mystic Hot Springs, just outside of Monroe, Utah, United States, Earth, Solar System, Milky Way Galaxy. And from this factory come new people. And these are the people of the future. And this is the song that the factory kind of plays as it pumps out this new humanity. It's one called The Mystic Hot Springs. Thank you, folks. You are all from the future, like us. And if you're not from the future, well, you are. Anyway, the point is, there's no point in us even telling you this story because you've heard it all before and you've lived it. But we're going to do it anyway, all right? Look, folks, after the factory starts kind of recreating humanity, humanity's society starts to rebuild, and it creates 3 jobs in the future. So there are only 3 jobs left in the future. One is to work at a thrift store selling repurposed radioactive trash. The second job is to be an ozone sucker man. These are folks that walk around with giant vacuum packs on their backs, and they suck the ozone out of the air to make the earth habitable for the rest of humanity. And the third job, naturally, is to work at a call center. These are the 3 jobs left in the future, and this is a song about the woes of being in the postmodern labor force. It's called Something More to Do.
Yes, matches. That's something we didn't bring with us this time, unfortunately. But anyway, continuing with the history of the future. As you heard in that last song, it's not that great living on Earth in the future. Working at call centers and picking up garbage, so the trend now is for people to save up all the money they can. They scrimp and save to buy a coveted one-way trip to the moon. Why a one-way trip? Because the return trip's way too expensive. So nobody actually knows what awaits them there on the moon, since nobody's ever come back. But what they do know is that it can't be any worse than life on post-apocalyptic Earth. This next song is the one they sing to their friends and loved ones right before they take off in their rocket ship forever. It's called Goodbye Forever, I'm Off to the Moon. Being stuck to the ground, so goodbye, so long, I'm lunar bound. Goodbye forever, I'm off to the moon. I've spent all my years on this earth, and I'm through. I won't see you later, and I won't see you soon, because goodbye forever, I'm off to the moon.
Folks, on the moon there's kind of a different society that's been created, and the society there is fueled by kind of a bunch of junkies, and they all kind of go around sort of looking for their next fix, and the word on the street for their new kind of fix, the thing that they need to keep going is called Susie. They call it Susie. So this is one about all those people going to get that stuff. All right. Susie, why'd you choose me? Don't you know that I'm a hoax? I've been losing, I can't fold my own clothes. For some reason you ain't leaving, you're just hanging around. Susie, why'd you choose me? Don't you know I'm falling down? The streets are filled with black tar. There's feathers in my shoes. I spent my last good dime on some Johnny Walker too. And the city lights are out tonight. The highway's distant hum. The streets are filled with black tar, and I'm a stumbling drunken bum. Will take me to a friend's door. You can't go home if you got no place anymore. And Susie will greet me with a sweet and gentle kiss. And the taxi will leave me with the one who helps me live.
Continuing with the history of the future, this next story is not very easy to tell. It's kind of sad, actually. There's a woman who didn't have to scrape to get money to get a ticket to go to the moon. In fact, she was doing really well. Her name was Shannon. And she had enough money that she was able to hire a team of engineers to take her hometown to the moon with her because she couldn't bear the thought of leaving it behind. So she hires a team of engineers to build it. And they build it, and it's time for her to take off. And she takes off to the moon and leaves all of the engineers behind to perish. It's really sad. In fact, she was behind the making of Susie in the future, this drug that's not good for everyone.
Arkansas, she had let us stay
Ladies and gentlemen, I have an important question to ask you. Is it your birthday this week? Anyone? There has to be a birthday here this week. We have at least one. Let me tell you, it's your lucky birthday week. Ladies and gentlemen, in the future, the last week of May is the special birthday week. All the other people get chosen for all those jobs, but no, the people with the birthday week in the last week of May that happens during John Hartford Memorial Festival just ever so conveniently, it's your lucky birthday week. That means you get anything you want for your birthday, but be kind because your loved ones may not necessarily have the money to afford such fine things. But if not, we have a simple solution.
Tell me what you want for your birthday. Tell me, I'm all ears. I want a castle and a moat and a drawbridge, or just a six-pack of birds. Yeah! I want a bowling alley all to myself. I want the kiddie bumpers on every lane. I want the black lights glowing in the dark. I want a bowling ball that looks like a brain. I don't want to make it hard on me. I know we're running out of money, dear. So if you can't give me what I want, I'll take a six-pack of birds. Sponsored by M&M's. I want hot babes kissing my cheek. I want to drink milk. I want to win. I don't want to make it hard on me. I know I'm running out of money, dear. So if you can't give me what I want, I'll take a six-pack of birds. Yeah! Tell me what you want for your birthday. Tell me, I'm all ears. I want a rhinestone Indiana flag, or a monkey in a bag, or an orange zigzag, or just a six-pack of birds. Yeah! Happy birthday! All right, that's enough. We know we're amazing, that's enough, thank you. But one thing we also know is that there's one language left in the future, and that language is obviously German. The Germans of the future, much like the Germans of today, have one word for these two birds. These birds are called the pigeon and the dove. Yes, so you know, and the Germans call these birds Taube, okay?
You mean both birds?
Yes, they call both birds Taube, and it really makes me want to just like punch a German. Okay, but you know, I refrain from violence of all kinds because what?
Because you're not good at fighting?
Right, because I'm not good at fighting, that's right. And so anyway, here's a song about how closely related those two birds are, and how both, you know, kind of biologically and linguistically in the German language. It's a song called I Can't Believe That a Pigeon and a Dove Are the Very Same Bird. If you translate them into German, they come out as the same word, Taube. That's the word in German for both a pigeon and a dove. That's the name of this next tune we're going to do for you. It goes a little something like this. come out as the same word. Tauber, that's the word in German for a book, a pigeon and a dove. One is a flying rat, and one's a symbol for peace and love. Yeah, one is done, one is witty, one's eating crumbs off a curb in a city. One is in a movie looking pretty, it's the same goddamn bird. Well, I saw a pigeon the other day and it made me think about you. All the stuff you said to me and the shit you put me through. I can't believe how evil you are. Can't believe you could be so mean. I can't believe that you and I can both be human beings. But if a pigeon is a dove and a dove is a pigeon, well then I guess that is that. I can be a good person and you can still be a piece of crap. There was a time, not too long ago, when the landlord was gonna shut off the power, kick us out in the snow. But before we left, there was something you wanted to do. You grabbed my hand and dragged me in the kitchen, and you sang me this tune. Dancing in the kitchen, slowly moving our feet. Dancing in the kitchen, just my darling and me. Some days are sour, some days so sweet, but the day that I treasure the most, you were dancing in the kitchen with me. So we left that place with not a dollar to our names. Oh, the good times they went and the hard times came. But no matter how great the struggles and strife, we'd always look back and laugh at that one special time when we were dancing in the kitchen, slowly moving our feet. Dancing in the kitchen, just my darling and me. Some days are sour, some days so sweet, but the day that I treasure the most, you were dancing things got worse and better, and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and real bad, and a little bit better again. And now sometimes we go to a park like the Monroe Music Park, and we dance with our friends, but don't matter the band or the drink so fine. Nothing compares to that one special time when we were dancing in the kitchen, slowly moving our feet. Dancing in the kitchen, just my darling and me. Some days are sour, some days so sweet. But the day that I treasure the most, you were dancing in the kitchen with me.
Oh, dancing in the kitchen, what a lovely, beautiful thing to do, but I bet you're wondering right now, what on earth does that have to do with the future? Well, don't worry, we have a perfectly ridiculous explanation. Imagine, if you will, the complications of space travel. You don't exactly know what gravitational pulls do in certain areas, but we have two space travelers. They've been traveling around for so many years, they are in deep, deep love. Or so the young lady thought. They get to a distant planet where they're walking along and they think everything is fine until the young man looks at her and totally shatters her heart, saying some words that he should never say. A very brief slap of the face and away he goes. They are separated, and her heart is so broken, so incredibly broken, that entire planet's gravitational force flips around and the stars come down into the ocean and the ocean goes up into the sky, and she's standing there and we think she's crying, but oh no, she just has some salt water in her eyes that got there on the way by. But folks, this is a story that is going to tell you exactly what this song is. Here we go.
That was a perfectly ridiculous explanation. Thank you, Chad. All right.
I just got salt water in my eyes. No, I'm not crying 'cause you left me. I just got salt water in my eyes.
Thank you very much. Now, there are all sorts of perils in the future, like we've been talking about, and one peril is kind of like it's what the kids do. It's kind of like the eating Tide Pods of the future. Very dangerous, very stupid. They play this game called hopscotch, and it's just wildly outrageous. They do it on these outer space pads, so they kind of are, in zero gravity, which is obviously really stupid, because if they jump a little bit too high, they wind up floating away. Some kids have been found like on the other side of the Milky Way. Some kids, have been found, on the other side of the planet, and some kids have been found, kind of like near Fort Wayne. Really terrible stuff. You don't want that to happen. So this is a song about a boy who floats away and winds up stuck in between two of Neptune's rings, the Gala and Leverrier rings. This is his lament. It's one called The Stuck Boy. Folks, I'm done talking to you for a second. I got to talk to my partner here, Julie. Hey, Julie, I got a question for you.
What's that, Andrew?
Did you know that in the future there are dinosaurs?
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. The dinosaurs didn't go extinct, they went to outer space. The dinosaurs didn't go extinct, they went to outer space. And if you think I'm lying, well, come and say it to my face. Because the dinosaurs didn't go extinct, oh no, the dinosaurs went to outer space. Outer space. Now I know you're sitting out there thinking to yourself, is this asshole? I know that because in the future we've developed kind of like telekinetic mind reading abilities, okay? But anyway, that's neither here nor there, okay? Look, it wasn't some meteor that killed the dinosaurs. It wasn't some meteorite. Here's what happened. It wasn't a meteor. It wasn't a meteorite.
What was it?
It was a giant disco outer spaceship that launched them straight into the night. Yeah, 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 yeah. The dinosaurs didn't go extinct. They went to outer space. The dinosaurs didn't go extinct. They went to outer space. And if you think I'm lying, well, come and say it to my face. Because the dinosaurs didn't go extinct. Oh no, the dinosaurs went to outer space. Outer space. Bar fights in my life. That's a lie. That's actually a lie. I haven't. But if you want to fight me about anything, I'll fight you over this proposition. If you think you're so smart and you think the dinosaurs went extinct and didn't go to outer space, I'm going to see your certificate that says, hey, I'm a smart guy and a scientist. If you don't got it, it's going down. Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The dinosaurs didn't go extinct. They went to outer space. The dinosaurs didn't go extinct. They went to outer space. And if you think I'm lying, well, come and say it to my face. Because the dinosaurs didn't go extinct. Oh no, the dinosaurs went to outer space. Outer space. Come on. Well, the dinosaurs didn't go extinct, they went to outer space. The dinosaurs didn't go extinct, they went to outer space. And if you think I'm lying, well, come and say it to my face. Because the dinosaurs didn't go extinct, oh no, the dinosaurs went to outer space.
Andrew, it sounds like there's some aggression you need to get out.
Yeah, you know what there is.
Sounds like maybe there's a traumatic event in your past that triggered this sort of anger.
You know what? I'm glad you asked, Julie. There really was. You know, I had a very good friend named Brad, and one night came back to my place. I said, Brad, you can crash on the couch, but you know, he drank. Let me get the water out of my goggles.
We'll be fine.
And,
Maybe be a sneak one or two.
you know, he came back and had a brand new space bag, and he peed all over it.
Damn it, Brad!
I know. Damn it! That's a good name for a song. I think we should write that right now. In the key of D's, boys. Let's do Damn it, Brad, don't feel my back. Why don't you kick it off there? I feel a lot better about it. You know what? I feel so good about it, I think maybe I'll take a second to introduce the band we got up here. How about that? Alright folks, over here on the banjo and the dobro, all the way from Morrisville, Missouri. Some folks like to call him Gravy, but we're going to give you his full title here. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, our friend and yours, Chad Gravy Graves. Chad Graves. Back here on the bass is the Biscuit to the Gravy. Some folks refer to her as Biscuit, and it's actually a little bit disgusting. They got married and they've been making out in the back seat of the van the whole way over here, and we're getting a little tired of it. But anyway, you know, alright, anyway, she's all the way from the county seat of Kearney County, Kansas, folks. Alright, that we're talking Lakin, Kansas. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Betsy Biscuit May on the bass. Over here on the fiddle is one of my greatest friends in the whole world. We've been playing together, playing music together now for just over around 6 years, and it's been a real special time. She's a wonderful, wonderful human being and a fabulous singer. I love her voice and fiddle player. Ladies and gentlemen, Julie Bates. Julie Bates.
And over here, playing guitar most of the time, and sometimes the banjo. It's our fearless leader and the professor of future history, Mr. Andrew Morris from Warsaw, Indiana.
It's good to be back home again in Indiana. There's a sign that says it somewhere, or at least there used to be. Probably can't see it. Folks, we're the Matchsellers, Bluegrastronauts. It's a real honor to be here with at the John Hartford Festival. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, I would like to invite you over to the merchandise tent after the show, where some of us may or may not be hanging out at. We have some CDs there, as well as t-shirts designed by the official John Hartford artist, John Griffin. He designed our t-shirts over there. So we should grab one of those. She came walking down the road with her hair done up and a little red bow, eating cherry pie almost. I turned around and sighed. What could I do? Say, what could I say? What could I do? Say, what could I say? You were blue till you made it through, and I was fine until you came to
So in the future, there's this terrible new disease that people get from sucking in the ozone when there aren't enough ozone sucker men. If you remember that from earlier on. It starts to mess with their memory and they forget things and they start kind of staring off into space. And eventually they deteriorate to the point where they can't even talk. And it's we don't have doctors in the future to diagnose or cure this terrible condition. We don't even have a fancy Latin name for it. We just say something spacey like, oh, old Grandpa Joe's getting stars in his eyes. So this is a song about that called The Stars in Your Eyes.
It happened on a day. Oh, right, thank you folks very much for joining us here for our set. Be sure to stick around. There's a lot of great music all weekend. Well, I guess you guys won't be sticking around all weekend because you can only get here tonight, right? If you have a all weekend pass, I think that's the case. So anyway, looks like we're playing. They know. It's like we're playing for the smartest crowd. All right. Okay. We're gonna dedicate this next tune to each and every one of you. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you later at the festival, I guess. We're playing tomorrow night, and Friday we'll be back here Friday morning doing all John Hartford tunes. So be sure to come back here for that. And Julie and I will be hanging out with Ernie Hill tomorrow and the Boogie Tent doing Ernie Hill's story songs. We'll be talking a little bit about why we do this stuff. Well, hopefully we won't figure it out. All right, here we go. This is one called One of These Days I'm Going to Be Dead and Gone. Thank you. Thank you, Dan. A round of applause for Dan running sound. Thank you. One of these days.
One of these days.
One of these days.
One of these days. I'm gonna be dead and gone.
I'm gonna kick the bucket.
By the farm.
I'm gonna crow.
Push up daisies. I'm gonna be dead and gone.
Oh, well, I won't be around to eat all of your crackers. And I won't be around to bark like a dog. And I won't be around to play around of you, girl, little girl. 'Cause I'm gonna be dead and gone. One of these days.
One of these days.
One of these days.
One of these days. I'm gonna be dead and gone.
I'm gonna bite the dust.
Ashes my chips.
Cross the river.
That river sticks. I'm gonna be dead and gone.
Well, I won't be. Oh, that's your line. Sorry.
Well, I won't be around to saw the fiddle. Won't be around to sing you any song. And I won't be around to drive you around, Space Boy. 'Cause I'm gonna be dead and gone.
One of these days.
One of these days.
One of these days.
One of these days. I'm gonna be dead and gone.
I'm gonna meet my maker.
Ride the tail horse.
Go 6 feet under.
Take a third nap. I'm gonna be dead and gone.
Well, I won't be around to slide on a dope rope.
Or slap on that bass all night long.
And we won't be around to make you biscuits and gravy, 'cause we'll be dead and gone. One of these days,
All these days.
one of these days,
All these days.
we're gonna be dead and gone. They'll pull the plug.
Got flat lines.
We're gonna be dead and gone.
One of these days.
One of these days.
One of these days,
All these days.
we're gonna be dead and gone.
One of these days.
One of these days.
One of these days,
All these days.
we're gonna be dead and gone. We're gonna be dead and gone. We're gonna go to that great honky tonk in the sky, in the
How'd you like the trip?
Oh my goodness. Give it up for them. The Matchsellers Bluegrastronauts. There is so many varieties of bluegrass, newgrass, speedgrass.